This is a new video series where every other month I'll be taking a look at Patreon requested album reviews. This way I can do mini reviews on several albums that I've missed. These are ones that I couldn't cover just because of time constraints or I had never heard of them before. And because I'm not more creative, I'm gonna call this How Did I Miss This? The first requested album I'm gonna give a mini review on is Lifelines, the debut full LP from I Prevail. This album barely hit the 12-month mark when it was requested, so I'm gonna count it. I'm more than familiar with I Prevail because I saw them at Welcome to Rockville Live back in April of this year. The big song that everyone is going to know from this album is Stuck in Your Head, and that's for good reason because it works well as a radio track, and also it has a good sing-along chorus. It's great live and it features both vocalist Brian Burkheiser and Eric Eric belting it out. The reason I point out Stuck in Your Head is because this is the style you can expect in the rest of Lifelines. There is a dynamic energy in the chorus and the build-up, whether quieter like in verses of Alone or louder like in Outcast, Rise, and Already Dead. The build-up still leads to a strong chorus regardless of how they got there. I Prevail have a great delivery. They really know how to get that hook in and drag the listener around by the ear. I was gonna do like a fish hook thing with my ear. That's too awkward. I'm not doing that. One big factor that does stand out, however, is that there is a noticeable repetition among the 13 songs in Lifelines. It's mostly the standard radio format, and that's fine because they do it very well, but it does make some of the songs sound similar. I like the flow of the heavier songs on this album by a long shot. That's not every track on Lifelines either, but it matches more what I've heard when I saw them live back in April. But even though it does get a little bit repetitive after a while, the pros outweigh the cons for sure. Overall, if you are looking for a new band with potential and you enjoy the sound of Stuck in Your Head, then you will enjoy Lifelines. I Prevail has gained a decent following pretty quickly along with several charting songs from this album, so it's safe to say that so long as they keep their heads on straight, they will prevail. I don't like puns, and that one was terrible. For my second album request, I was asked to review Dawn from Mycelia, a band from Switzerland that is labeled as prog death metal. That is awesome. When it comes to asking the question, how did I miss this? I don't feel too bad here because I had never heard of this band before ever, so obviously I'm going to miss it. That's one good thing about Patreon requests though. I'm getting pointed in the direction of not only good albums, but albums I may never have found out about. Mycelia, again, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but when I look it up, it just pulls up mushrooms, has been around since at least 2013 when they released their first album. As far as prog death metal goes, you definitely hear the prog elements in the opening track, Call of the Void. The vocals are strong and deep, and the guitar work has a great range while taking its time. It's not all flash and fury, but it actually takes time to set up the mood like prog really should. The following track, Drop the Baby, also follows that same description. Dawn is 6 tracks long, it's just around 45 minutes in time, so you're getting some decent song length for the most part. Another interesting tidbit, the album is on sale on their Bandcamp page, and it's name your own price. Worth it. It's name your own price for just a couple bucks. You're helping out this band and getting a really good album in return. This is what I'm talking about when I say you can help a new or not well-known band. Just don't be that jerk that uses the pay your own price feature and pays a penny. Come on. If you're willing to pay 99 cents for a hamburger, you can pay a couple bucks for a good album. And that's what this is, a great album. It's engaging and deep. It's the type of music you'll listen to and you'll catch something new every time you hit play. The guitars and fantastic drum work drive this album. if you are not into some heavy growling in your metal vocalist, then you may not dig this. I at least understand that preference. Other than that though, I think just about any metal fan, especially someone looking for a heavier prog experience, should check out these Swiss monsters. Once again, proving my point that Europe is currently dominating the metal scene in the world. I don't know what's in their water, but it must be amazing. I bet it's flammable too. Really flammable, like almost all alcohol. Which is what all metalheads love. Okay, now it makes sense. Overall, Dawn by Mycelia delivers something fierce and memorable. There is a lot of talent in this album and band, and it's understandable if you missed it because I know I did. But as a name-your-own price option for a solid prog album, you can't go wrong. Finally, the third and last album I was asked to take a look at is Woe to the Vanquished from Warbringer. Warbringer has been going strong in the thrash game since 2004, which I didn't even know they had been around so long, going back to their debut in 2008. Their latest album, Woe to the Vanquished, is the band's 5th full album and one that lives up to their thrash name. The opening 2 tracks, Silhouettes and the title track, set the tone of what you can expect. Fast drums, a strong rhythm, an audible bass line which has been severely missing in many metal bands, great shredding, and a dynamic higher octave from vocalist John Cavell that seals it all together.
Remains of them, just the silhouettes. Just a silhouette.
Warbringer is one of the metal bands who do not get enough credit for giving thrash a good name. It's a shame too, because most of this album has that fire that many of the glory days of thrash had back in the 80s. You know, before thrash went all haircuts and snare drums. Oh, I made myself sad saying that. I'm not gonna say that Woe to the Vanquished is better than anything from the Big Four in thrash's heyday, but it stands as a solid album in thrash and metal in general in 2017, and I do kind of ask myself, how did I miss this? Songs like Remain Violent, Shellfire, and the long closer When the Guns Fell Silent help to add volume and intensify to flesh out this album in a good way. About halfway through, you do lose focus outside of, again, great guitar work, but there is still a lot to get excited about if you are into thrash or are like me and just haven't paid enough attention and want something heavy to get into. Overall, Woe to the Vanquished is solid proof that there are metal albums that can deliver in a tried and true style. In a genre filled with gimmicks and mixing effects, Warbringer sticks to their heavy guns and are able to prove they still have it years after starting on their own. And that was my first installment of How Did I Miss This? And I am so happy that I had 3 patrons who gave me good albums, ones I actually liked. I didn't have to suffer through anything. So, in 2 months from now, I'm gonna do another one of these videos, and if you wanna get more information on that, please check out my Patreon. There's gonna be a link in the YouTube card, and also in the description. I make announcements on Facebook and Twitter, so make sure to follow those so you know when slots for How Did I Miss This open up. Please subscribe or Corey Taylor will come to your home and rough you up, and stay tuned because another Regretting the Past is on its way.